What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's book review is going to be The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. The subtitle of this book, I think, wraps up the core essence of this book pretty well, which is Escape 9 to 5, Live Anywhere, and Join the New Rich. So essentially what this book covers is how you can set your life up in a way where you have income coming in a way that's more automated, and how you can put in a lot of work initially to set up these businesses and set up these side income streams, and then you can live off those and really think of your life's timeline in a different way. I would definitely recommend buying the physical book versus doing the audio on this one. And the reason for that is there's a few workshops within this where, and by workshops I mean there's specific things it'll tell you to go write down. And I also have a notebook where I wrote down all the stuff that I was doing with it. This is from this is from about a year ago now, a little over a year ago when I read this. Two of the main things that I wrote down that I'm going to share with you right here are the fear setting and then also the dreamlining. So the fear setting is basically helping you define your goal. And this book is really good with also helping you nail down your goal of what you want and what you really want out of life. So this will also help you set more of a realistic goal. So not everyone is going to be a multimillionaire, right? But you also don't need to be a millionaire. You just need to make enough money so that you can support your goal and your lifestyle. Without knowing what that lifestyle is, you're never going to be able to figure out how much money you need to make to get to that. And without a solid set goal, it's going to be very hard to execute it. So the fear setting is really a way to get you thinking of why you're not going after your goal right now. The goal that I have is to work for myself and travel. So it's kind of a two-part goal. Part one is working for myself and basically getting that financial freedom. And then part two is traveling with that. With the fear setting, you go through and you define like the worst case scenario, and you actually think through what the worst case scenario of making that decision now would be. And that's actually really helpful because you realize that it's not as bad as you would have thought, or even like the worst case scenario is not that bad. For me, the worst case scenario is I run out of money and then I have to come back and move back to the city and get another job, get another full-time job. So it's really there's really actually no downside to it other than like the unknown, which is definitely a valid big point of it. But that comes back to the other thing where this book will tell you, or this book will help you understand if you really want something or if you really just think you want something. Now, there's a lot of practical stuff in this book too. One of them is the dreamlining. Basically, the way the dreamlining works is to figure out what all your costs are and then break that down to a daily budget. A daily target income is what the book calls it. So this has actually inspired the travel budget app that I have been building. It has come kind of off of this concept from this book. And that concept is basically knowing how much money a day you need to live your lifestyle that you want to live. So for mine, I went through and wrote down, basically there's three categories you break everything into, and they're having, being, and doing. And then and then from there, you'll figure out how much everything will cost within that. And then you also add a bit of a buffer. I think it's about a 30% buffer to the math, but the book helps you calculate it. It's all very easy and very well laid out in the book. Basically, what I got to is my target monthly income is $5,567, and that makes my target daily income $185.56. Some of you might be thinking that's a lot of money. Others of you might be thinking that's not a lot of money. To me, it is a higher goal, but it leaves a lot of a padding there. Like some of the money on here is to pay off some debt and buy a new computer, which then leads to a little bit more debt. So some of this stuff can be done cheaper is the thing. Some of this stuff can definitely be done cheaper. But it's nice to have that number in mind, because when I'm working on my apps and looking at the income that apps are bringing in, it's nice to see like where that lines up and what I need to be making daily. Another real key concept of this book is basically how you can automate a lot of the tasks that you're already doing, or how you can set up your business in a way that a lot of the stuff will be automated. And this book actually goes over a lot of ways to do that and a lot of resources that you can use to exactly do that. Another thing I will say is the book's title is very grabby, The 4-Hour Workweek. It's a very enticing book title, right? Now, the book isn't really about how you're only going to be working 4 hours. It's more about how you can set things up so that you could work for a very short amount of time in a week and have your money still coming in. So really the key of the book is how to set up these passive income streams and how you can get a lot of the work that you need to be doing outsourced. Yeah, that's going to be it for this book. I would highly recommend. It's one I always come back to and sift through and read parts of often. And the Amazon link is down below. If you use that, it will help support the channel. If you enjoyed the channel and aren't already, please consider subscribing and liking this video. All right, ciao for now.